Hi guys, it's Rike here and welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Rike and I review a lot of activewear, and sometimes I also just do some chatty videos where I tell you, about what's going on in my life, my thoughts, my, whatever's happening. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what's going on behind the legging addict, basically, you are, you clicked on the right video today. So today is not going to be like an activewear try on. So if you're waiting for one of those, then I'm very sorry for today, but there'll be a new one coming very, very soon. But yeah, so I recently moved again. This is the second time I moved countries this year. And I also made a little chatty video about that, and I can link that up here about, the reasons for the move and everything like that. And today I just want to give you a quick little update because I have moved. Last time it was short before it was going to happen. And some of you will also have seen my new background already, the new filming location. Well, the new filming setup, I guess. And yes, so if you want to learn a little bit more about me, want to know what's going on, I'm also gonna, talk a little bit about just what has been happening, great words, what has been happening. And I'm gonna show you a few books that I just picked up from the post pickup place because, figured I might as well just show them to you as well. And if you're interested in more things about me, I'm just gonna link my whole chatty video playlist up here as well. I answered some of you guys' questions there too. And yeah, if you ever have any questions for me, just leave a comment down below and I will answer them, Otherwise, let's get into today's video. So this is basically a little bit of a follow-up on my move from Finland to Denmark. So earlier this year, I moved from Sweden to Finland and now from Finland to Denmark. And, I was driving, so it was quite a journey. And so I can tell you a little bit more about that. So when I left Finland, which it was in, beginning of August, basically, weather was beautiful, no complaints there. And my aunt had visited me, so we were just, seeing places together, spending time together. And then we were both driving to Turku, which is, so Helsinki, I don't know what you know about Finland, but Helsinki is the capital of Finland, and it's in the very south of the country, but kind of middle of the south. As in it's the southern coast, but the coast has it goes west basically. And you can take a ferry from there to Stockholm, but you can also just drive to Turku, which is about I would say less than a 2-hour drive. And from there you can also take a ferry to Stockholm, which actually goes much faster. It gets you to Stockholm at 6:30 in the morning instead of 9 or 10. And that guarantees that the city is not going to be too busy for driving. So yeah. So me and my aunt, we were driving to Turku, where I had left her then to do the rest of her Finland trip. And I boarded the ferry. We first, of course, looked at the Turku castle, very nice castle. I can just insert a picture here, as in very nice. It's old. It's very, very old, and it's quite big. It's not the nicest in terms of this is beautiful. It's more this is definitely clearly built for defense. It was a defensive structure. And apparently one of the kings of Sweden, because Finland used to be occupied by Sweden, so the Swedes had built this castle when they were occupying Finland, and apparently Gustav Vasa, one of the big Swedish kings, had said he hated this castle so much, and he also only visited once. So not pretty, but it's quite impressive to look at. So, we did that. It was my second time there already, and then I boarded the ferry in the evening. Weather was beautiful. Got to Stockholm in the morning. Stockholm is the capital of Sweden. It's on the east coast of Sweden and somewhere kind of north not in terms of Sweden, but it's kind of the middle of Sweden, but still, it's there. And then my little Polo, so I have a Volkswagen Polo, very old car. It's turning 25 in September, so the month you'll be seeing this video. And it's a little car. It had some issues. Recently had some stuff fixed just before I left. And, I was driving all good by myself. And then I had to drive around 500 kilometers from Stockholm to Gothenburg. So through Sweden to the west coast. So one through, just east to west, not north to south. That would take you much, much longer. And then basically just shortly before I got to Gothenburg, let's say an hour and a half before, all of a sudden just the sky opened and there was so much water, wow. so much water. And, you know, it was just so much. I couldn't even go max speed, so I was just going nice and slow. My goal was just to arrive. I had a lunch break, you know, because I figured maybe it'll stop. Looked at the rain radar. Guess what? Was not going to stop. So I took a look at my front tires, and I was also like, they look very flat, kind of like not flat and like they're completely flat. They just looked like they were kind of out of air. So I added some air, and I was like, that's weird, because the back ones looked pretty okay. And you know, then I continued to make my way to Gothenburg, where I visited some friends because that's where I used to live. So, you know, easy peasy, and it's a nice little stop for the weekend. So I boarded the ferry in Turku Thursday, so I arrived in Sweden on Friday. And basically driving these 5 hours, also 5 hours, 500 kilometers takes you about 5.5 hours. With the rain, it was a little bit longer, basically, and with my lunch break and everything. And, you know, I made it there, but something seemed a little odd with the car, but you know, it's fine. I made it. It was pouring still. We unloaded some stuff out of the car. All good. I had arrived. Then my friend convinced me to do a gym class with him. So we did that as well. And it was actually quite nice to get some movement in, like after all these hours, like in the car. And I also should have mentioned when I got on the ferry seat, like I don't have a structure for this. I just talk. When I was on the ferry from Finland to Sweden, they have massive duty-free stores. Like, I don't know, like, how often you take ferries, but I know, like, I used to take ferries between Sweden and Germany all the time, and they're smaller. The duty-free shop is not that big. It's mainly Swedes that buy the alcohol because they think it's cheap, because alcohol is very expensive in Sweden. It's also not cheap in Finland. But, like, those duty-free stores on the ferry, like, boom, massive, like airport duty-free stores, basically. This is how big. It is crazy. So I just bought, like, 2 like Finnish vodka things for my family, just to bring, you know, as a little gift, and some licorice, and for my friend as well. I said like a licorice, like vodka drink liquor thing. And yeah, back to Gothenburg. So and then you know, we did the gym class. We had Swedish pizza. I missed Swedish pizza. If you don't know what Swedish pizza is, it's like an abomination if you're a big fan of Italian pizzas. But like for me, I don't regard it as a pizza. It's just its own thing. And basically, if you get a kebab pizza, which is like the standard Swedish pizza, there's just a mountain of kebab meat on your pizza with garlic sauce, and it's just its own thing. And it's amazing every now and then, but I haven't had one in a while. So, you know, I was like, I want Swedish pizza. Let's see if I can find a good picture, and then I can also put it on the screen for you. But like basically Swedish pizza. Pizza is its own thing, and it's very like soft, and like it's really hard to eat it if you don't fold up the pizza pieces, because they just put so much topping on it. And those Swedish pizzas are also usually made in kebab shops, like where you can buy kebabs and falafel and burgers and whatnot, you know, so like they have kind of all kind of these things. And then my boyfriend also joined because he's already in Copenhagen. He was already in Copenhagen at the time, so he just came up by train. And then we just spent the weekend there, basically, hung out with some friends, did stuff, you know. I went on a little shopping trip, bought also quite some books that I could have showed you here now, but I don't have them here. I'm just going to show you the ones I just recently ordered. And also bought like stuff that is generally cheaper in Sweden, because the Swedish krona, which is the currency they have in Sweden, is not as good anymore as it used to be. So some things are actually cheaper to buy in Sweden these days now than in Finland or in Denmark. For sure, Denmark is a little bit more expensive. So we just, you know, stroll around, had some gelato, enjoyed the sun, and it was really, really nice. So no complaints there. And then on the Sunday, we slowly made our way down further south, and then there is a small ferry you can take from a place called Helsingborg to Helsingør, which is a little bit north of Copenhagen. So that ferry is generally cheaper than that big bridge. I don't know if you've ever heard of this Öresunds bridge. It's a really big bridge that basically takes you from Malmö in Sweden to Copenhagen. You can go on it with a train, you can go on it with a car, or of course also buses, whatever. But if you go on it with a car, it's quite expensive. So the ferry actually is a little bit cheaper. And since we kind of have to go a little bit north of Copenhagen anyway, it makes way more sense for us. So we took that ferry, and on the way to the ferry, I noticed like the car's kind of pulling to the left, you know. And I had the feeling it got worse and worse, and I was like, oh my god, how are we going to make it? And then when we got on the ferry, when we were driving on the ferry nice and slow, the car started like wobbling, and well, you know, I was like, okay, we made it on the ferry, so at least we're going to make it to Denmark. Are we going to make it further than that? I don't know. So yeah, we made it off the ferry. It was wobbly and it's like pulling to the left. So I was just trying to drive us for the last like 20 kilometers. And we made it. We parked the car and I was like, okay, well, this car is old. I don't know what's wrong with it. Like definitely something with the wheel alignment was wrong and the tires didn't look so good. So yeah, called the garage. Turns out it's just the tires and the wheel alignment because I thought maybe something else I had fixed earlier was like broken again or something like that. But no, it was just that. So the car's still alive. That's a plus. It's my first car, so I've had it for over a decade at this point, and it's gone places. You know, I didn't actually think when I was driving to Finland with this, I didn't think it was gonna make it anywhere else after. I didn't think it was gonna make it out of Finland anymore. But here it is. Pal Polo is how I call it. He made it very good, and he goes straight by himself now again, and the tires are brand new. It's a very quiet car now. compared to, you know, I also had exhaust issues with it this year, so there was like some of those rubbers that hold the exhaust in place, like, you know, were kind of broken, and then like it vibrates a lot, but everything's great now. Car's like new, basically. Anyway, so we made it here, and then I had like a full week to get myself like situated here, unpack some more boxes, you know, set up the filming room, and yeah, get all the official stuff done. And now I started working. It's been 2 weeks already. It's very nice. The weather has been okay. A little bit colder than Finland, surprisingly, but you know, we're getting there. And yeah, overall, really nice. There's a lot of like lakes around here and stuff. And overall, you know, I can also show you maybe around a little bit how the filming room looks. I can just, I don't know. We'll see if I'm going to put that in or not, but I'm currently sitting in it. It's basically a spare bedroom. And since we don't have a storage locker, like boxes are still in here. I've tried to like kind of rearrange things. We have an extra mattress and all that kind of stuff, but we have the filming situated here. And yeah, last weekend I actually was flying to Berlin as well, going home for just the weekend, which is really nice because it's a very short flight. And there was a concert that I had to go to. Well, I had to, you know, this is basically my favorite band. They were playing 3 times in this big open field where 60,000 people, I think, fit. So yeah, it was a lot of people. It was 32 degrees Celsius, the warmest day I had this whole entire summer because I was mainly in Finland, right? And yeah, but me and my sister, we survived. We made it. And overall, yeah, it's nice to be here now. Things ship relatively fast to Denmark, so that's also really good for reviewing North American brands too. A lot of stuff actually goes through Denmark, or from Germany to Denmark, for example. Then it's faster than if you go from Germany to Finland. But like a lot of times when I had stuff ordered to Sweden, it actually went through Denmark anyway. So there's that. And now this is Nordic country number 3 that I live in, right? We only have 2 more to go, but I don't think I'm going to move to Norway or to Iceland. So yes, let's stay here for a little bit. And I've also, of course, you know, already checked out the local library because, yeah, I've started reading quite a lot more the past 2 years, I guess. Yeah. And I used to. Now I also have a longer commute with public transport, so I actually also do get to read a little bit more on public transport these days, which is what I used to do when I lived in Berlin and then in Gothenburg. There wasn't that much in Gothenburg. It was all just like 10 minutes on a bus that didn't really make it worth it. And in Finland, I was walking to work, so no reading, just audiobooks. But anyway, I recently ordered some more books because I found this website and because sometimes I'm like, oh, there's editions that I like more. Like sometimes the North American and the British editions are different, and they actually do have both. So of course, usually the North American editions are a little bit more expensive, but there was one book that I ordered that's not in here, this package here, where I definitely was like, but I like the other cover way more. Usually I don't care. Sometimes they're very, very similar. But anyway, we'll just see what 3 books I have in this little package. Because like I said, I just picked it up. So why not? And ooh, this one is big. Ooh, this one is a very big one. If you are used to North American covers, so this one was a big book. A few people have talked about this a lot. It is also a big book, as in like it has 580 pages and how many? 257 chapters. I mean, to be fair, I like when it's short chapters, right? But yeah, this one was very popular on the, so I'm not on TikTok, so I don't follow BookTok, but this was the Bookstagram, I guess. And I still, I make, you know, I don't follow all the Bookstagrammers simply because there's authors that are, you know, I don't like, and a lot of people just rave about them. But yeah, so All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whittaker has been pretty popular this year. People love this one a lot. It's kind of like I think a thriller, but it also has a lot of like friendship and just interpersonal relationships in focus. And it's just about, let me see what it says. Late one summer, the town of Montclair, okay, is shattered by the abduction of teenager Joseph Patch Macaulay. Nobody more so than Cian Brown, who will risk everything to find her best friend. So yeah, friendship, mystery, and yeah, this one has been talked about a lot. But the cover for the North American version definitely looks very different, but with this one I didn't really care. But I think, because this one is completely white with color, the North American one is completely black with color on top. So those are differences. And then we have, oops. And then we have this little number, Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is number 3 in her, what did she call it? The Maple Hills series or something, or the Maple Hills universe, basically. So I don't know if you know Icebreaker. I know some people hated it. I really liked it. It's kind of like, you know, it's like romance with a little bit of spice. I don't read a lot of those, but I did like the Icebreaker one. So it was like a hockey player and a figure skater. And then the book 2 was called, let me check what it was called, Wildfire, I believe. It says it in here, yes. Wildfire, where it was about another teammate from that hockey team. And then they were at like a summer camp or something. And now this is Daydream, where it is about another guy from that hockey team and another girl. And yeah, because I liked the previous 2 books. To be fair, I liked Icebreaker a little bit more than Wildfire, but they're cute and they're fast reads. So yeah, and the covers are always like very fun. So look at this one. I like the colors. It's nice. I'll probably save this one for another activewear and outfits video. If you're interested in those, I'm just gonna link my playlist up here, where I basically pair my activewear to activewear and outfits. Did I say that? Activewear and books and activewear. So I pair my activewear to a book cover. That's the idea behind those. And I think this one is a good candidate. But I try to do these after I read the book, so I can also tell you a little bit about the books, right? And then we have another one, which is called In Ascension by Martin McInnes. This was longlisted for the Booker Prize of 2023. And I just randomly stumbled upon this because I saw the cover. And sometimes I'm just like, cover, ooh, this looks interesting. And this is basically, a lot of people found this very, or not a lot of people, but some reviews that I've read, because I of course check reviews before I buy a book. Not for everything. I didn't for this one. I already knew I wanted to read it, but you know, otherwise I sometimes read through, and some people that didn't like this one, said that it was very slow and they didn't really get it. But then some other people completely loved it. So I think with this one, I kind of will have to see, but I think this is maybe for me, because this is about a woman who basically, I don't know, she grew up in the Netherlands and then she becomes a biologist, and there's a little bit of like space travel, or is it? Well, anyway, she works for the space agency and she investigates the Atlantic Trench, and yeah, I don't know, there's something to uncover there, and I don't know, it just seemed interesting. So I think it's a little bit like sci-fi, but more like in present day, so it's not like too like far set in the future or anything. And yeah, this, like I said, this cover looked interesting. Also could be great for an outfit thing, because we have just like a blue kind of, it would be nice blue on blue kind of outfit mix and match situation. So I think this could work well as well. And by the way, this was also, if you care about this, I usually don't, but like it's also the winner of the Blackwell's Book of the Year, apparently. Because it didn't win the Booker Prize, otherwise it would say that on here, I would assume. And not just a long list of it, but yeah. Anyway, got this one. The author is, by the way, from Scotland, because a lot of times there's a lot of North American authors. For, yeah, just everywhere. But this guy's Scottish. So, yeah, those are the 3 books. I just figured, you know, I'd show you. Let me know if you've read any of those, or if you're interested in any of them, and if you want me to include them in one of my upcoming activewear and books videos. If you want to know what I'm reading, or just want to follow my reading journey, or just get inspiration, I put my Goodreads and my Storygraph profile links down there in the description box, and you can just follow along or befriend me or something. But yeah, otherwise, I think this is it for now. If you want any updates about life in Denmark, what's different between Denmark and Sweden, these kind of things, or between Denmark and Finland, or which Scandinavian country is my favorite, I don't know. Oh, I shouldn't say Scandinavia, because apparently Finland does not belong to Scandinavia. It's just part of the Nordic countries. So Scandinavia is only Scandinavia is only Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. Don't ask me why. I didn't really get it. But yeah, so let's say, Nordics for those three. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about that. So far I can tell you the cuisine is of course not that much different, but they really do love their open-faced sandwiches here. And they also do put like potatoes on bread and on pizza. So yesterday I had a pizza that had potatoes on top with some kebab meat and some other stuff, which was interesting. Okay, why not, right? Also, they do love flags. So the Danish flag is everywhere, all the time, basically. You have a birthday celebration, Danish flag. You have, I don't know, just a random kid's birthday party, probably Danish flags, just Danish flags everywhere. So they do like their flag, which, by the way, fell from the sky in Estonia, in case you didn't know. In Tallinn, there is a place that is considered the birthplace of the Danish flag, and when the Danes were there fighting, it just fell from the sky, and that's when they were like, yep, that's our flag, and birthplace of the Danish flag is in Tallinn, in Estonia. I actually went there this year. I can also insert a picture, because I took a picture, because I figured that's kind of fun, because at that point we knew we were going to go to Denmark. Yeah, so interesting little bit of history there. Otherwise, I don't know. Don't have much more else to say right now, but yeah, if you have any questions, any feedback, anything. Also suggestions for new videos, of course. If you have any questions for a little Q&A session, I'm always happy to answer your questions as well. Drop a comment down below. Otherwise, by the way, new Buff Bling launch is coming as well in just like next weekend, I guess. Or the coming weekend. And just neutral colors. So I'm not too interested. I think there's like 2 pieces I might be grabbing. I can insert a picture here as well so you can see which ones. But that's like the least I was ever interested in a Buff Bunny collection launch. And I'm curious to hear what you think about all these neutrals, but I feel like we've seen so many neutrals this year that it's just ridiculous. I'm hoping that in October there will be, or like end of September, beginning of October, there'll be a launch, their Halloween launch that will have some really fun colors that I'll be throwing some money at, but right now this launch is just a bit sad. Anyway, this is it for now. This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, any feedback, any suggestions, anything, drop a comment down below. You can also follow me on Instagram and DM me there. You can probably get a better response from me here on YouTube because I'm more likely to see your comments here. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!